I just had to Homer Simpson into the head. Do you not ask for like details? I'd have asked for details.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Actually, I changed my name for stand up.
Tell you who I've got a problem with.
Something potato famine.
I've been in therapy since I was 9.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm so fucked.
What do you like at receiving compliments?
Not great.
Yeah, I'm not good at giving them either, so this is going to be the cringiest start to a podcast.
Do you start like Ron Funches? Or you say nice things about me?
I'm going to say nice things.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I'm just going to
Really
say that,
miss
like,
the vibe of the pod.
I know, spread negativity, and I'm just going to suck your dick, mate. It's going to be just as awkward for me as it is.
I think if you sucked my dick, that would be quite negative for me.
I don't like that you've written me off without even giving me a chance.
Well, yeah, listen, I don't know your dick sucking capabilities.
Exactly, you just judge me at face
I'll
value.
be totally honest, neither does Liam.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say that, like, oh no, I don't want to do it anymore.
Go on, be nice to me.
Too much on it.
Be nice to me. Be nice to me.
I was just going to say, like, I've never seen you live. I've seen, like, loads of your clips and stuff online. And I think, like, it's dead inspirational how you, like, work social media.
Yeah, he's right. This is a bit gay, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm very uncomfortable with this, actually.
Yeah, I've never met you before, and the first thing I do is just fucking, I don't usually do it. Do you want me to call you a cunt? Will that make it better?
Yeah, for sure. I'm
cunt.
much more at ease with that. No, that's really kind.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. It's been very fun.
Just put myself out there, like. No, it is like you see a lot of people. I think you're setting sort of the standard in the UK for how what you can do with social media. I don't see enough people like with the clip content, and I mean a lot of people that we do podcast. I can't even fucking say what I'm on. Like we do the podcast clips and stuff, but you're constantly like, you know, MCing clips, and it's all good stuff like that.
Well, yes, I always try, because you can really shit stuff out, and you see some people doing like really unoriginal sketches seems to be the fucking trend at the minute, and I just think,
Why?
oh
Who's
my
doing
god,
those?
nobody's doing.
Name
fucking
3.
All I'll say is there is a difference between dating in your 20s and dating in your 30s. That's all. But I think that's tough. You don't want to be the fucking McDonald's, because that'll get shitloads of views. If you do really unoriginal stuff, you'll get shitloads of views. But you don't want to be McDonald's. You want to be like a gourmet burger kitchen.
You want to be a Leon?
We all want to be a Leon. You know what I mean?
Really big in London.
Bleeding its way into the north. So how long have you been going for?
4 years. I started strangely. So I started hosting a night at my uni once a month, but I didn't have any material, so I just made stuff up once a month. And then, actually, within that first year, the headliner got stuck in Essex, so couldn't make it, and I just did 20 minutes.
Really, with no material, just off the dome,
just fucking around.
Yeah,
just making stuff up.
He actually invented the, you know, what dating was like in your 20s.
Yeah. That's when I came up with it.
He just talked about that for 20 minutes.
With it. No, that was so I did that, but that was like once a month for a year. So that was probably 2017, and then 2018 I did my first 5-minute set of one-liners. Yeah,
you started one-liners, did you?
That all had the same punchline.
Really? Yeah.
It was like alt one-liners.
Okay.
It was 5 minutes of jokes that all had the same punchline, which was nothing. He just apologized. The setup for the first one was, what did Neil Armstrong say when he came home late for dinner? Nothing. He just apologized. What did Rocky Balboa say when he knocked out his best friend? Nothing. He just apologized.
Right.
Yeah, I can see it.
5 minutes. 5 minutes of
what
that.
were the laughs like? Did they like? Because
it's the classic. It gets less funny and then it gets more funny.
Because the repetition does get people eventually, but then they start to like fatigue off.
You gotta just believe in yourself.
And what if I got nothing? Did you just apologise?
No.
Hey,
come on. The problem, I did that like maybe 6 times.
Oh,
I remember. Yeah,
you tried it
That's
more than once.
persistence.
Yeah, man. And then somebody said to me, "Oh, that was really good. Like, how do you stretch that when you're doing like a 20?" And I was like, "The fuck are you talking?"
Yeah,
about?
he thought that was your whole vibe.
Yeah. And then I had some real. The women we all have really fucking dog shit ideas that we tried, and then I think like maybe took like just a little while to realize that you don't have to like sound like a comedian. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I think
I was going to ask what made you do one-liners. Was it, do you like that style, or is it what you thought?
I do like weird stuff. Like, a lot of people think I don't,
Surrealism.
because I on a lot of podcasts say that I hate everything.
I mean, well,
That's why you're on, pal. Don't worry.
Slag musical comedians and alternative comedians to death online, but I actually love all of it.
Yeah.
See, if you're like having a good time on stage, I'm in. Like, I fucking love it. But also, like, fuck you, it's cheating.
Yeah, it is cheating.
I did the. I think what it is with a one-liner is it's definitely a joke. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no matter what anyone says, that is a joke.
Yeah.
Because it is
It's not
nothing but a
presented
joke.
as like, this is what I think about this.
Yeah, so it is just like, here is a joke, and my job is to tell jokes. So I'm definitely doing it. If it's a one-liner,
Yeah.
versus it's much scarier to just like rant or ramble and like have the jokes a bit more disguised, because then when it doesn't go well, they're like, why is that guy just talking?
Yeah,
Easy to remember if it's the same punchline 5 times.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he
was
really.
most of it.
Like, the hardest thing when you start out is remembering your set. You had it fucking nailed.
I did have a joke in the middle where I pretended I forgot what the punchline was going to
Of course you did. I hate you.
I like took a notebook out of my pocket and was like, all right, yeah, it's the same.
What was your first gig like?
My first gig was. Have we never spoke about this? On
No,
the
I don't
pod?
think we have.
My first gig was King Gong at the Comedy Store.
Oh,
fucking-
Manchester?
Stupid move, yeah.
Yeah, it's priceless as well. I've spoke about this on another podcast actually. Because I went up, I was one of those, like, I think everyone either they go, I want to do stand up, and they go and do it that night, or they go, I want to do stand up and I'm going to prepare. And
Yeah.
I was the prepared kind of person. I didn't know there was other gigs, but I just went to King Gong every month trying to pluck up the courage to do it. And I finally signed up after about the 4th or 5th time that I went.
What a place to go to develop courage, by the way.
Yeah.
Just literally watching people's hopes and dreams just gets...
Mate, if you knew my childhood properly, you would understand.
I thought that was love.
Yeah. I thought they were doing it out of love. Yeah.
But that's like, because it's fun to watch, but also I find a lot of people say that the point at which they realize they could do it is they went to a really terrible open mic and went, well, I'm funnier than them.
Yeah. It's
And
probably-
King Gong is good for that.
Well, I went up. I was 17th on the bill. I was first after the break, which when you say 17th on the lineup, that's straight away, it's not a gig. Do you know what I mean? No.
So
There should not
16
be,
before the
especially
break.
when it's the first after the break.
Yeah.
That means
Yeah.
there's 34 people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I went up and I was watching it and nobody got through. That was another thing. It was a particularly brutal
fuck.
one. None
And
of the
the whole
first
first
16
half?
got through for the entire first section.
But then surely, I always spin things in a nice way before I go on stage. I'm always like, how does this benefit me? How does
Yeah.
whatever bad thing, like, I'd be like, in my head, if that was happening to me, I'd be like, right, second half.
Yeah.
They almost know there has to be finalists.
Yeah.
And they know they've been through a whole
Yeah.
half of nobody getting through. Were
Yeah,
people
for
getting close, or was it like,
I don't remember. It was, like I say, it was like 3.5 years ago
Right,
now.
yeah.
First after the break as well is like...
The
best-
sweet spot on
It's
the
a
middle.
sweet spot.
If you're in the middle, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. But that's not the case. With King Gong. But yeah, man. So I was just watching it. I'm sort of a bit like what you just said. Like, at most gigs, I'll be like, right, I got nothing out of it, but what's 3 things I learned?
yeah.
First one is I'm not gigging for that guy again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just I always try to analyze things. I was looking at it, it's like 16 people have gone on. I'm dead nervous at this point. 16 people have gone on. They've all tried to do material and it's not fucking worked. So I'm just gonna have to just, like, there's no way at my first gig what I've got in this little notebook that I can barely remember is funnier than anything they've said.
Yeah.
So it's not going to work. I'm just going to have to go on and just try and figure it out. And Danny Mack was the MC. And I went on and I was like, this is just fucking... Like, what have you guys come out for? Do you know what I mean? You're like,
Yeah.
you're the most relentless fucking cunts ever. You know, like, people are going, this is a fucking dream. And you're going, nah, fuck him. And they went, yeah, and fuck you too. And 30 seconds later, I was just trying to be like, just make fun of the situation and what was happening. And they just went, nah, you're all right, lad.
Because there's a famous video, and he's taking it off his YouTube now, and I don't know why. A comedian called Russell Hicks, who's have you seen Russell?
I've not,
Yeah,
but
American
Thomas
guy?
Green mentioned him because he
Oh
wants to
my
do the gig
God.
and stuff.
Oh my God, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's a guy.
He's like Kyle Legacy, and he just riffs.
That, I mean, I wouldn't be that mean to Russell.
Yeah, Russell's not got a receding afro.
Russell.
I couldn't even say it.
Russell's fucking class, and like he has really funny routines, but he's like annoyed at himself when he has to use them.
Okay.
So like he wants to just get into whatever the room is. And there was this amazing video. It was titled like Comedian versus 400 Hecklers.
Class.
And it was
I've seen it.
him doing King Gong and beating
In
it with
Manchester?
in London and beating it with crowd work.
That's
And
insane,
it's
yeah.
just he just goes on and goes, "You guys are fucking cunts, man." And he goes on, he's fucking you in the white trousers, you're judging people, and he's like fucking.
So why was the
shits
problem
on
when I did that?
everybody.
Then?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I thought it was the crowd.
You
Now
can't
he's making
have
sense.
yourself on Russell Hicks. Like,
What was he already at some sort of level then, or was he new then?
No, he was at a level then.
Yeah,
he was like
just knew
very
him,
good.
that's
He
the
just
only
wanted
one.
to go and just do
Get 50
whatever.
quid.
I don't think you even get 50 quid in London. You get a plastic crown and a photo with the MC.
Really?
fucking
Yeah.
hell, that is
Place you
nice.
could really do with 50 quid.
Photo of me in a stupid crown that doesn't fit next to Kerry Pritchard McLean. Treasure it. It's on the fridge, man.
Lovely way of just slipping in that he's won it.
Listen, I've never been carded. No, I got carded in the first time I beat it, but that's because I slagged off one of the card holders. And he went,
That'll do it.
And I got like around it, like bought loads of time.
Yeah.
I always found the maddest thing about King Gong was like,
Do people know what King Gong is?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Probably not.
we've got a professional podcaster here. Someone's got a Patreon.
we have talked about regular listeners will know because we talked about Beat the Frog and stuff. But if you don't know what King Gong is, it's just a really brutal night in Manchester and in London. It's not actually in Manchester anymore because the store's not there. But 3 audience members will get a card. If you think you're shit, they'll put the card up. If all 3 cards go up, you get carded off. But yes, exactly. But in King Gong, they're encouraged to put them up. Do you know what I mean? Like the best thing I ever saw was Danny Mac gong someone because he had Lonsdale trainees on. And then the guy was like, "He's serious, like, come from like London for this." And
But
he
you
was
know
like,
how
"Oh, come on then, come
that's
back
what
on."
it
And
used to
then
be?
ganged me.
I met a guy, John Fothergill. He's like a proper old school comedy store comedian from like the first weeks. He was the first ever MC of King Gong. And when it first happened, they didn't have the cards. So it was entirely at the discretion of the MC. So he would just be like,
Just judge it based on reaction.
he would always just do it for the laugh because you can get a laugh so easy. Like if they go like London, he goes, "Nope."
I like it when you can see the vibe at a King Gong gig when you can tell the MCs hit the point where they want to go home.
Yeah,
And just
yeah.
like the body language and everything sat behind the person on stage is like, fucking let me get home. I want to get paid and I want to get out of here.
I often host a gong show in London at Vauxhall. I get like pretty much once a week, every Sunday. But instead of cards, we give the audience dildos. So if you get 3 dongs, you get the gong.
And what's the name of the gong show?
The Ding Dong Gong Show.
What's it is? Did you plan that name? Or?
No.
I was giving you credit then.
It is
excellent,
great though.
though.
It's good fun. We mix it with we have a little panel, almost like Kill Tony. So there's a panel of the MC and 2 pro comics. Give a little feedback
Oh,
to
sick.
the acts.
Which is never positive.
No, sometimes they just hoof it and you're like, that was great. Like, who came on? Because I remember one recently I was hosting and then the first half somebody did like pretty well and they'd like been gonged off a few times like weeks before, but they did pretty well and I was like, oh fuck, they might win this. And then second half I pulled somebody's name out of because there's like names out of a bucket as well as like the pre-signed
So
up.
really like Kill Tony, like
Yeah, so I pulled the name out of a bucket and I was like, oh, who's this guy? Welcome to the stage, Evaldas Carosas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he fucking
he's
hoofed
great.
it. And I was like, I'm so sorry to everybody else who's done
Yeah.
this gig
He started up
expecting to
north,
win.
him,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, because he just crushed it beyond belief.
And his style's very like high hit rate in a short amount of time too.
Yeah,
so it's
his
suited for
Tide
that,
5
like,
is so
bang,
fucking
bang,
tight.
bang.
Yeah, it was just insane.
So he went up with everyone just thinking he was like a rat. Did people know they were like? Is everyone's name in the bucket or just people who?
No, so there are some pre-signed up acts and they'll definitely get on, but then in between we do like the names out of the bucket and like when you're hosting you say like we have no fucking idea who these people in the bucket are.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just mental and shouldn't be given a microphone.
There's a lot of that, isn't there?
It's really brutal when you preface that at the start and then introduce a foreigner.
Yeah, I'm just like
Some of these are mental and shouldn't be here. Anyway, here's the guy from Lithuania.
Maybe go back to where they came from.
Yeah, it's time to get the sunglasses on. He was saying before he sometimes wears sunglasses on a podcast because you can't possibly get cancelled for something you've
can't
said.
get cancelled when you're wearing sunglasses.
Do you reckon? Why? Because people think you're a character actor.
No, people just know,
You're
like,
blind.
they just think it's a joke. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way someone can share a video of you wearing sunglasses and be like, these statements are so bad because you're wearing sunglasses, so it's obviously a fucking joke.
Here's the challenge then. Try and get cancelled with sunglasses on.
Where the fuck? Oh, they're there.
It just looks like you've just woke up.
Tell
on
you who
Love
I've got a problem with.
I was like,
Look at that. I was at a gig
all
the
I'm
other day.
saying is they own the banks.
Something potato famine. I was at a gig on Friday night and I got propositioned by a swinger couple.
That's happened to me before.
All right.
What happened to you? What happened to you? What happened to you?
So I was setting up my camera at the back of the room and I tapped this lady on the shoulder and was just like, my camera's set up right behind you, just want to make you aware in case you fucking stretch or whatever. And she goes, were you at this other gig a week ago? I said, which one? And she goes, oh, it was just up the road from here. And I said, oh, no, that wasn't me. And they go, oh, it just looks like someone that the guy who was on just looked like you. And I was like, oh, was he handsome as well? Just a little joke so I could move on and leave. You know what I mean? Just a little.
First road,
And the guy genuinely goes, I'm not fucking making this up. He goes, well, that was actually why we wanted to speak to you. And I went, you are? And he goes, yeah, because he was handsome. And
do you know him?
and just sort of went like that. So we thought it was you because we didn't have the courage to ask him the other day. And I went, nah, it's not me. And he went, all right, okay. And then his missus went, well, as you can imagine, I'm really gutted. And I was like, okay. And then just walked away.
What the fuck
And,
are these
like,
people?
Did you not ask for like details?
No.
At least? I'd have asked for
What
details.
the fuck are you talking about?
Well, don't you want to know like what scenario they're interested in?
Absolutely no, because he sort of made it obvious. You know what I mean? So
Well-
me acting dumb would probably turn them off, to be honest.
I'd sit in a wardrobe, me.
There are options there though, because it could be like a threesome, or it could be like, can you fuck my wife?
Exactly
in front
while
of
I
me?
watch.
Yeah. Bring that camera while you're there.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was like, we've got one of those.
Yeah.
That's what he was. Is that a Sony A6?
Yeah.
They're expensive, them, aren't they?
Yeah. And we've actually got a lapel mic for a fanny. Audio gain really high.
Yeah, it happened to me at ASMR. It happened to me at, it was South Ken Comedy Club. I did
Maybe
a
it was
set,
you they thought I
and
looked like.
then- Maybe.
Which comedy club? Sorry.
South Kensington in London.
Oh, okay.
And I was there, did my set. I think I had like a little bit of interaction with them, but I can't really. They were like an older couple, and they like laughed really hard at something, and I think I just called them stoners, and they were like, yeah. And then I was sat downstairs after the gig, because the gig's upstairs at this pub, and the woman just walks over to me and just puts a hotel room key on the table with like the room number written on it.
Fucking hell.
What
And
hotel room was it? Because that would affect my answer. That would change. If it's
I
a
think it was
holiday
great. It
Inn.
was South Kensington. It's like pretty lush
Okay, yeah.
fucking
Decent,
area. And she's
Not a
just like,
Premier
if you
Inn, then.
fancy it. And I was like, what the fuck?
Again,
I
did you
didn't
not ask
go.
questions?
She'd walked away. She was like a fucking
No questions to be
cowboy
asked, yeah.
riding off into the sunset.
Imagine you were like, yeah, sick, and then you go and open the door and it's just some bloke waiting.
Some guy.
It's a vibe you give off.
Yeah, what would be the ideal scenario? Imagine they were just like, you look like you need a night in a nice hotel.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
put
yeah.
it up.
They're
You
like,
look like shit.
You can
You're
go to
wearing
the spa.
sandals. You look broke.
Yeah, you can go to the spa in the
Here's a
morning.
place to stay.
Get yourself a croissant at the continental breakfast.
Not like we want to fuck, but just tidy yourself.
Yeah, I've always been in relationships, so I've never really indulged in any of that fucking. Like, you know, there's a lot of comedians when they're going about and gigging, they end up with a collection of these like mad stories.
Yeah.
Where they end up in some fucking hotel with some fucking crazy.
It's
person.
so easy as well. Like, let's be realistic. None
Yes,
of us are lookers, but we've all been propositioned.
Yeah.
I was at a gig in Stoke the other day, and Danny Mack actually stood on for Beth because this woman, she was actually a porn star. I wanted to make the gig all about her, and she comes up and she's like, "That's the one I fancy," and she's pointing at me. And Danny just went, "Yeah, he wouldn't want you. His girlfriend's much fitter." And she was like, she started twerking, like she was going like that, throwing it back, and was like, "I'm fitter, I'm fitter." He's like, "Nah, you're not."
Oh
Just
my
like
God.
proper, like so brazen, just like, "No, you're not."
Women are evil, aren't they?
Yeah. And I've just been on stage for 20 minutes talking.
Sorry.
Where's the sunglasses? Yeah, can you not? Gonna get
Women
cancelled. Be careful.
are evil.
Okay, to elaborate.
Don't trust them.
But yeah, I've just been on stage as well for 20 minutes talking about Beth, how we bought a house and all sorts of George stuff that
That's
Yeah.
the time
having a
I was hit
girlfriend.
on too. I did a bit
Yeah.
about like me missus.
So imagine you weren't doing that.
I know.
The difference is because there's most of the time when I'm doing a set, there's a good chunk of it is about my girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
But often when I'm hosting, like it doesn't come up or I don't end up talking about it. And the difference between when I do mention it and when I don't mention it is just ridiculous.
Really? Yeah.
Just like, and then you get those evil women who are like, but like, she'll never know. I'm like, go away from
Yeah,
me.
That's what
happened
happened
to
to
you,
me. Yeah,
Evil.
she was saying she was going, "I'm good at keeping secrets," and it was like fucking whispering down my ear and shit.
Demons. They're fucking demons.
Speaking of demons, are you religious?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I am, but only in the sense of like, see, when you grew, did you guys
Very
grow up
Catholic.
with it? Like, you know, like, did you grow up?
No, I was like, my dad was very like atheist because he grew up with it. Irish family.
Right. So
That's
like
why I
very.
asked. Yeah.
Did he get?
Well, a bit more lax on him because his I don't know which way round, but either his mum and dad, one was Catholic, one was Protestant, so they were like
That's disgusting.
they were the black sheep, yeah. So they kind of like didn't.
They were black as well.
So they were like religious, but then I think the way that their family reacted to that kind of made them not. As,
Yes,
like, so
yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of just like tapered out.
Do you?
My family are Irish, so yeah.
Like, but did
I'm
you
pretty much what
grow
you
up
were
going
talking
to
about.
mass and stuff?
Yeah, I went to like Christmas Eve mass at midnight and all that shit. Yeah. Yeah.
See,
it's-
like, but when you grow up with it, like we would, when I was very young, we would go to mass like every Sunday, and like, even though I now would be like, I'm probably atheist, it's so hard to like, it's so inbuilt in
Ingrained.
my brain that there's like a guy
yeah.
who's up there, like looking,
Doesn't affect your decision.
that I'm like,
He closes his eyes every time he puts the glasses on.
like I can't convince myself otherwise. Like it's so like in like it's just like something you just grow up with. You're like, oh, the sky's blue, and you're just like, well, it's blue then, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just like there's a fucking guy. There's a god. He exists. He's a guy or a girl.
It's just like so. Or a girl. That was very. That was an afterthought, wasn't it? You're
Or
trying to win
they.
them back on.
God's the first they. God was the first non-binary because there's the three.
Yeah.
He's tertiary.
The Father, the Son, and the
That's
Holy
funny.
Spirit. Yeah.
That's a bit. I'm ready.
That makes no. I don't get. Like, explain that to me. That I don't understand that.
With God,
The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. What's that even mean?
he's all of them.
Yeah, but what's the? So is the Son Jesus?
Like, do you know the way all
What?
is the sun? Yeah.
When you
Yes.
said that, I thought of the actual
The
sun.
sun
I
is
was
Jesus.
like, oh, it's pretty hot.
Are the Teletubbies? That's Jesus.
Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
You should
Yeah.
see him
Jesus
now.
is baby Jesus. Is that what it is? Is he the best form?
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Jesus?
yeah. He's the best Jesus.
There's a BuzzFeed
He's
article
like a
with pictures of
shiny.
him.
It's what?
He's a shiny.
The shiny Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Rare.
The 100 Club Jesus.
What's the Holy Spirit then?
Bird. Dove in it.
Fuck off. What?
It was a dove at various points. It was a dove on Noah's Ark. Do you know when the floods and all
Oh,
happened?
it's a
When-
background character.
Do you remember when God
Are you telling
killed
me you've not
everyone?
heard about the bird? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, don't you
Hey,
fucking...
hey,
Oh
come
my
on.
God, fucking Family Guy references from the early 2000s. Jesus.
And he took the biggest nerd in the room to not get it as well.
Moved on, mate. Family
No,
Guy.
you fucking not.
No, I never knew any. I don't know anything about the Holy Spirit.
It was a
genuinely.
dove. So do you know when God killed everybody? The flood.
Yeah.
Which is pretty harsh.
Oh, lovely, caring.
Yeah, that's
After
Old
everyone.
Testament God. He was a different guy. Man.
That's
Having
when
kids.
you know
And
it's
then-
bollocks, because he's wrote a new book and it's different. Well, he's not wrote the book.
He didn't write the book, did he?
But they've wrote a new book and now he's good again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but having kids changes your perspective.
That's exact. That's literally what happened.
Is it? Yeah. I know.
Because New Testament is Jesus.
Yeah. That's how I know.
Right.
Yeah. So.
He had a kid and he's like, "Oh man, I need to change my ways."
Yeah. I'm not going out and getting raved on Saturday night anymore.
Yeah, I'm never
Maybe I
gonna
should
wake
lay
up with a
low on
hangover
the
and
list.
decide to kill all people except
So what you say?
one guy in his fucking boat.
So the Old Testament's a better read then.
The Old Testament's more of like
God's the original. What life is like when you're in your 20s versus your 30s. That's like-
yeah. Although Jesus only lived 3 years of his 30s.
All right, brutal.
Very sad.
That's the dream, innit?
I still don't know what this spirit is. It's a dove, apparently. Yeah.
It
So
was a dove, so the dove flew with the olive branch to be like, "Yo, stuff's okay now. You can go back to everything."
So that's how God talks through the bird.
But then there's that bit in the Bible where it says the Holy Spirit came upon Mary and she got pregnant, and I was like, "Yeah."
She got fucked by a giant dove.
he came on her, did he? Sounds like he came in her.
If only he had an A6400. Yeah, my family are all Irish, so I did grow up with it. I actually...
Where are they from?
County Meath.
Nice.
And I changed my name for stand-up.
Oh, are you one of these?
Yeah.
You fucking what?
Did you not know that?
Are you messing here? Because
No,
we've
I'm
been
not.
friends for a while and...
3 years, yeah. Did you not know that?
No? What's your actual name?
Rasheen.
I'm
Neve.
confused here. What is it?
So my first name was Aaron, obviously, but my previous surname was Balfe. Have you ever heard that?
Baulf.
Balfe. And I changed it because I've got no affiliation to any of my Irish family, except my nan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she got married, so doesn't have that name anyway. And yeah, my dad's surname was Wood, and it was just like I went through my entire school life going like no one can pronounce it. The fucking tram was I would need the bath. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and my way, love how that's tickled
Yeah,
you.
encouraging the bullies there. Yeah, fuck you.
My only
Shit,
response
Dave.
as well was, I take showers. You know, so
Oh,
it's pretty
God.
witty.
Yeah. See where the stand-up started.
Yeah.
Sorry. Are you supposed to burp on this podcast? I just
do it.
did.
No, yeah, every time was a shit joke, yeah. You'll be sick by the end of it.
Hold on, so you're Aaron Balfe?
Yeah, and no, I'm not now. No, I changed it by depot.
So
Oh,
officially...
you're
and
actually
shit?
you're
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah,
Wow.
Because I
How
couldn't.
much effort is it to change it on Depot? Because people talk about
You
that.
go online and you tell them your new name.
Is that
It's
it?
simple
That's
as
it.
that.
It's so easy. You could genuinely change your name before the end of this podcast.
That makes
People
sense.
have always suggested that to me.
Would you bother? Your name's like dead original though, isn't it? Different?
Yeah, mine
It
was
is,
just a
but-
shit name. Like yours is actually interesting, but mine was just
Yeah.
a shit name, and I could not be arsed with because I thought no one can spell it. I've spent my entire life going Aaron Balfe, Balfe on the phone to people. Bravo, Alpha, Lima, Foxtrot, Echo. That was my entire fucking life. So I thought no one's ever going to find me and follow me. No MC's ever going to pronounce it properly.
Do you
I
miss
can't
it?
be arsed.
Yes, because
I miss it
Vittorio
now.
Angelone goes well every time.
No, but yours is
Northern
interesting
MC
though. Like,
attempts.
if you were called John Smith, you're Irish and Belfast and you're Italian.
That whole
sort of-
thing, yeah.
It's gone now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Names are so fucking weird because everyone's like, "Oh, that's an interesting name," and like, it's exactly the same as that God thing. It's just your name.
Oh, you said
It's just a fucking noise you make. It makes you turn around. Problem with mine is Vittorio is fucking shit because anytime anyone says the toilets, I turn around. Bullshit.
That's like how dogs work, isn't it? It's not, they don't actually hear their fucking name, it's just the sound.
But neither
of
do
it. Yeah.
it's words are just sounds. You know this?
You fucking
Liam, did you know that
teaching me about religion, you teaching me about language. This is an education. No, I'm gonna get your dick sucked. Yes.
Oh, he loves
Aaron
a man.
Balfe, that's mental. Why
Yeah.
have you not told me this?
interesting.
You never asked.
I'm not gonna fucking ask
Yes.
have you ever changed your identity? It's not something that comes
Yeah, it'd
up.
be so weird if you were like, "Hi, I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you." Like, is that your real name?
Yeah, and what I was doing there was one of them jokes. Yeah. You've heard of them, yeah.
I can't. Why didn't you like get adventurous with it? You're gonna change your name by default.
Because it's his dad's last name.
Yeah, but I don't know my dad, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that's like a background story. Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah,
have a good
yeah.
relationship with him, so that's why it's
Oh, any.
That's why it surprised me you took your dad's name as well.
Yeah. Yeah, just because it was just
Very
easy.
easy.
If
It's
it was
easy to
anything other
spell,
than
easy
wood.
to work out. Yeah.
Yeah, if it was anything other than wood, I wouldn't have done.
Why didn't you take Beth's name?
Huh?
Take Breath's name?
No, hers is a nightmare as well, to be fair. Hers is... Yeah, I'm going to bleep that, actually. Probably shouldn't give my girlfriend's name. I mean, it's easy to find her if you care enough, but yeah, people are fucking weird. Have you had that? Like, if... Because I don't even know your girlfriend's name, to be fair.
I don't say it on things.
Yeah, no, I purposely don't.
She's an
I try and
actor as
avoid
well,
it, yeah.
So
but like people like...
Any affiliation with you can be damaging. Is
That's
that what it is?
That's literally it.
Yeah,
She's really scared of getting
cancelled.
cancelled. She's scared of getting cancelled by
Is this weird though with the
association.
sunglasses?
Yeah, man. Like I feel really bad about it, but like I just do what I do, and then hopefully
No, don't feel bad.
they don't
about
cross over in the Venn diagram until it's a point where we're both
It's
fine.
You're both in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like people are weird, man. Like I did a gig once, and Beth, someone went up to Beth and was like, "Oh, you his girlfriend?" And she was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, I've just seen your kid. I can't believe you didn't mention it." It was just like, because I took a picture of my godson.
Yeah.
It was on my Instagram, and then they just assumed it was Beth's kid. She had to go private. Like, people are just fucking weird. Like, because she has holiday pictures on there and stuff, and like even like people will incessantly request to follow her.
Really? Yeah.
Incessantly.
And
yeah.
you sure that just doesn't happen because she's attractive? Because I think
Yeah, but that is
happens.
exactly why. But that's what's weird about it. It's so fucking creepy, isn't it? And yeah, it makes her uncomfortable. And she went on private because she never used to be. But she was like, I can't. This is just fucking.
Rebecca went through a phase of getting like WhatsApp messages off like random numbers that had the Bangladeshi country code at the start, right? So I was like, respond. I was like, see where it goes, respond. And she was just speaking to this Bangladeshi guy who was just like asking her questions about
Shout out
herself.
Ishan Akbar.
And like he started sending her pictures, but it wasn't like dick pics or anything. One was a picture of him just leaning on an Aldi, and it was like, you like. And then the next one was
That's
him.
very Ishan to be fair.
The best one was him outside the Taj Mahal with the caption, "It's Taj Mahal." As if like she needed that information with it. It's Taj Mahal. Yeah, just weird, isn't it? What a weird, like...
People are odd, man.
But you're always, in every moment of this podcast, your choice is always like, see where it goes. You're a very like yes man kind of guy. You're like an old couple, propositions you have to show. See where it goes, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Bangladeshi people message you on Instagram. Just see
Where it goes. See where
That's
it
why
goes.
we're doing the podcast. Because I went, do you want to do a podcast? And he was like, see where it
See
goes.
what happens.
What's up, guys? The podcast is growing and we're dead happy, but we need your help.
What we need is for you to start sending us in your most embarrassing moments, the worst things that you've ever done to yourself or someone else, and most importantly, what you want to get off your chest.
So email us in at spreadnegativitypod@gmail.com, and if it's not shit, we'll read it out in a future episode. But I've got faith in you. It'll be fine. Pause it here. Go and send us something in, and then we'll read it out. Do it.
And as always, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, give us 5-star ratings on all the platforms that'll let you do it. It just means that more people will find us, and it's a big, big help.
Like we said, the podcast is growing quicker than we expected, and we're buzzing with the support. We really are, but we want to grow bigger. If you can, please keep telling your friends about us. Drop the link to the episode into your group chats and help us spread more negativity. You're the greatest. We love you. Let's get back to the episode.
Got a dead itchy wrist today.
So you watch.
Huh? That's just how I say I'm horny. Itchy wrist.
So Sam says, we've had someone send stuff in. If you're new to the podcast and you're watching because Vittorio's on, we do a section at the end called Off Your Chest, and we invite the guest and some listeners and even us to get something off the chest, something that annoys them. And we've had a guy, could be a guy, could be a girl, could be a they.
What's the name?
Sam Randalls. So Sam Randalls says, hey guys, so I work for the council in a boring office full of...
Do they want to be anonymous?
No.
Okay.
They've not said so.
So you give the full title there, you give the full name out. Yeah, it's done now, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you control the edit, but let's move on.
It's staying in.
Probably should have
You
just
made me
said
panicky.
Sam.
I'm sat here like, ah!
What does it say at the bottom? Does it say their name at the bottom of the email?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Full
fine
title?
then.
No?
Just go for Sam then. Edit out whatever the last name was.
Okay. Shall I do a live bleep? Sam Bleep says. The last name's actually Randalls, which really reminds me of the guy from Monsters, Inc.
Could you stop saying it?
Sorry. Fuck it. Sam Randalls says. No, I think he'll be sad. So I work for a council in a boring office full of OAPs. I'm the youngest in the team by a minimum of 40 years.
Wow.
It's fucking impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an exaggeration.
They're all 60 and 20. That's the only way that
Yeah.
works. Wow.
That's brutal. And what comes with that is me getting very pissed off. So they've sent in a few things that pisses them off in their work. So the first one's birthday club. So this one is utter bullshit, he says. So they say. So we all pay in £2 for every person's birthday, and so they don't end up with shit presents. Everyone just asks for money in a card, but you get back what you pay in. So it's like a shit savings account along with a generic card from people you don't like.
Yeah.
So you're just giving someone £2.
It's
and then 6 months later you'll
endless
get your £2
circle
back.
of just presents or money.
We do that in our place, and I've been shafted in the past because I've like been moved from teams. So I've joined birthday club, paid that fucking money, like, and it was like a £5, the one that we did, and I've paid.
Fucking someone's doing well.
But I didn't want to, but you can't be that dickhead to say, I can't pay a £5. If everyone's doing it, you've just got to fucking do it. You can't be like, because everyone's on the same wage as you. It's the same job. You can't be like, I'll only give £2 or I can't quite afford it this month. So I'm paying in the money every fucking, it was like every payday, there was just 1 or 2 birthdays. I'm like fuming about it. And then when it comes to time for my birthday, I like moved team like a week before my birthday. And then the next team I joined didn't birthday club for certain like numbers. Do you know what I mean? It was only big birthdays, like 30th. And I was a dickhead as well. I was trying to like slide in hints, you know, like it's my birthday soon. I wanted to see the return on my investments, and I was a proper knobhead about it. And one person just had to tell me straight, you know, you're like, you only turning fucking 25. We don't do it for birthdays like that. Dickhead.
I can beat that though, I think, because I've had some like, at least that's money and you just didn't get any. But I've had some proper shit presents, like working at like different places. I was a barber for like 7 years. And when I was working at a barber's, I got a 1-day pass for Barber Connect, which is just where you go and watch people cut hair. It's like Glastonbury for barbers.
Convention.
Yeah.
Barber convention.
Yeah, where you just go and watch people cut hair.
They just play EDM and people get a fucking sick trim and a tight weave,
Yeah, but it's like, it was the worst fucking gift of all time. I didn't like cutting hair, let alone watching people cut hair. And that was after I passed my apprenticeship, where, funnily enough, for a year, I cut hair, watched people cut hair. Do you know what I mean?
It wasn't it your dream to headline Barber Connect?
Yeah,
Who was the headliner?
At the top line of the festival thing.
Tiesto.
On the main stage.
Tiesto's giving Pitbull a skinhead this year.
Yeah. See, I've never had an office job. So
The trimmer stage. I don't know. Does it even work? Does it make sense? Sorry, carry on.
I've never had an office job. Occasionally when you work in schools, like kids will like buy you something. Like you get like a wee like fucking box of chocolates or some shit. You don't get one.
My mate, sorry to interrupt, my mate got bought a watch.
A watch?
A watch. He's a teacher, got bought an Armani watch. For
like a private school?
I don't know. It's in Stoke.
That's a bit,
so probably not.
That's a bit Did the other kids know this kid bought him a watch? That's a bit like...
Sort of like when Santa gets like your mate a better gift. Do you know what I mean? Did you ever had that when you were a kid?
Yeah, you're like why Santa got a budget for different people?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to write a bit about this at the minute.
I've never thought about it like that. I think I was just told the truth quite early on. The magic.
Here's one. When I was 3, I think my mum told me it was when I was 3, in like November. She was like, "Oh, are you excited for Santa?" And apparently I turned around and went, "I don't know why adults insist on lying to children."
And then everyone clapped.
Actually, mother. Fucking hell, Professor Angelone.
What a psycho kid.
Yeah. I told a story on the episode that went out today. I told Liam a story of how I got bought an Xbox one year for Christmas, but my birthday's 2 weeks after Christmas, so I didn't get any games until January 7th. But it came as a bundle. It's like one big thing. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's borderline child abuse. Looking at an Xbox. I say use a DVD player.
I was just downloading demos again. So I had FIFA demo. I had Doritos Crash Course, which was a fucking great game, to be fair. Which, to be fair, Mum did me a favour because I wouldn't have known about that if I got given Call of Duty like I was supposed to.
But it's not.
But yeah, I ended up getting her a pair of slippers for her birthday, but she only got the left one until Mother's Day.
I used to. One year, I just stole my dad's iPad and hid it for 3 months, and then gave it to him on Christmas.
Did he notice?
That happens a lot with like a dad's wallet, doesn't it? Like your wallet goes.
Fucking iPad. I was like, no idea, man.
I have to have a word with Santa.
Why is it stickier than when I lost it? Right.
So
the other one that he's got a beef with, or they've got a beef with, I'm really sorry. You should really fucking put your pronouns at the bottom of it.
Are we going to become that podcast, are we? Yeah.
So they've put, now I can deal with small talk in the office. It makes the day go faster, but sometimes, but if I have to go one more conversation about grandkids or how much better things were like in the 70s, I'm going to scream. Now, I read this morning when this came through. And on the episode where the lad from Belfast is on.
Things were better in the 70s.
Yeah. That's poetic, isn't it? It came through and I was like, phenomenal. I even Googled when did it start, and it was 1969, which honestly...
I love the thought of you didn't even Google like any other words. All you put in was when did it start? And then hit enter on Google and it went...
And they wrote, did you mean the IRA? Anyway. But no, I do get that. Like, I can't be dealing with older people who are just fucking... Like, they want to tell you how much better things were, but they can't fucking do anything now. Do you know what I mean?
It's just nostalgia's a fucking... Nostalgia's great, but it can also be a fucking trap.
Yeah.
The stuff you like when you're young, in your formative years, you're pretty much like forever and be fond of forever. And people are just so averse to change. I think we'll be different when we're older because we've grew up in a time where so much changes so fast. I mean, it always has, but I mean, technology in our lifetimes, we had access to like rudimentary stuff as a kid, and we've constantly had to adapt to like the latest tech. So I think that our generation won't look back. Everyone looks back at the good old days, but I would not say the 90s were better than now.
No.
Everyone moans about how shit things are, and they are shit. We're run by a bunch of, like, the governments don't know what they're doing, or everyone, like, fucking everyone in charge is a dickhead. I agree with that. But still, like, not war-torn. Do you know what I mean?
Not yet.
Fight for me last
Yeah,
now.
Not war-torn. We recorded this before March, by the way. Today is March 3rd. And yeah, at the minute, nothing's war-torn. Okay.
I'll get off my soapbox now.
And also, it's not the flex people think it is. Because all they're really admitting is, oh, actually, when I was born, the world went to shit because of my generation. Do you know what I mean? If things were better in the 70s, it's only when you started having an impact where things went to shit. It's not the flex that you think it is.
Yeah, but I also think it's right. Nostalgia is a fucking bastard. Because, like, with music particularly, you only remember the best artists from, like, the 60s, 70s, 80s, all that shit. But, like, there was definitely shit bands in the 60s.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the Beatles. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just like fucking class people the whole way through.
Blue have existed.
You just don't remember the shit people from before because they had like a one-hit wonder and then disappeared. But when you exist in it right now, you see all the worst bits as well as all the best bits. I think we've got like more than our fair share of generationally talented musicians relative to any other fucking decade.
Because like the what's the word? The fucking ecosystem's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like run by gatekeepers and shit. People can.
Yeah, there's no tastemakers anymore.
There's too much choice.
Yeah,
if anything,
yeah.
There's too much.
And also, you can't really remember musicians that were dead shit from 2004 because your mind just blocked it out. Like, when was the last time you thought of Sean Kingston?
Oh my god!
Yesterday? What are you talking about?
You had a song where it was literally going.
Beautiful girls.
Yeah, that's all I can think of.
Fucking.
Have you ever paid attention to the lyrics?
Yeah, beautiful girls make him want to kill himself. Welcome to the fucking club, bro. They're fucking demons.
That's the clip. To be fair, what this person's the next.
You can still call them Sam.
I'm just getting really
Sam's point
confused. Yeah, what Sam's point is, they've actually gone on to say like using age as an excuse. That's one that annoys them. So they've put now this one does me head in the most.
Yeah, using age as an excuse for what?
I'll get
Are
to
these
that.
people all in fucking wheelchairs and stuff? And she's like, these fucking lazy bastards.
You said she. We don't know that.
They.
So they put, so I work in admin, so I appreciate that when they fucking hell, when they all started in the team, they were probably sending messages via carrier pigeon. But guess what, Linda, you're in the 21st century now and getting paid the same as me. So I don't care that you're not very good on computers. I'm not doing your work for you. Every time a app comes in that involves a spreadsheet or something that they can't comprehend, they look to me to do it whilst continuing to sit and talk about their grandkids and print emails off to read them. I'm sick of it, and I think office.
So you laughed, but yeah, that's like I've lived that. Do you know, I've seen
he's
it.
laughing at the fact
I
I printed an email off to read it.
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No, just the
But
concept.
the thought of somebody printing off an email
it's
is so fucking
it's
funny.
insane, mate. Yeah,
People do that?
Yeah, it's insane.
I thought you were genuinely
Why don't
laughing
they
about
just
that.
read it on the thing?
We live like our offices are very systems based. Like it's a systems sort of based job. The older people have been known for in the past, like printing off like every sort of screen and then writing their findings on the paper and then typing it back into the script. It's just like
Just 3 times the amount of time.
rather than just like alt tab. Like it's mental.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a bit of me. I understand all of these.
Yeah, this is it because they've put I'm sick of it, and I think office jobs should start doing tests like for old people that drive. So if you can't do it properly, you're not doing it at all. They just need to give up and retire. And I genuinely can really get on board with it. Yeah. Like I don't understand, like because all anyone says is like, oh, they're old. It's like, but you've grown up with this just like we have. We didn't know how social media worked, and just because we spend a lot of time on it, like we didn't know how to edit video 6 months ago. We do now. Do you know what I mean? You can figure it out. My mum fucking asked me the other day what her password was to her Facebook. Like, what are we doing? What is the point in any
My
of
nan
this?
used to call me up. She'd call her. I live around the corner from me now. I'd get a phone call, I'd answer it, and she'd be like, "Can the telly man pop round?" She'd call me the telly man. She'd have a problem with the telly. I'd have to go walk around to hers and literally turn it off and on again. That's all I ever did. It fixed every issue. I was like, Nan, just press it on and off again. It'll fix it. But they just, like, if I had an issue with a piece of, like, with a TV remote, if I had an issue on the screen, I would think, I'm just going to fucking press buttons until one of them fixes the problem. But it's like...
Yeah, they don't have that. But I mean, is that kind of sponge brain thing where you're much more adaptable, and then as to get scientific, as the myelin sheath on your neurons gets thicker and thicker and thicker, the pathways...
So Sam says...
I've got a background in biomedical sciences. I'm on it.
That is the fucking science behind it. The pathways become more hardwired in your brain, so it's harder to create new pathways when you're older and stuck in your ways.
So where's me?
Literally neurological being
So
stuck
what
in
you're
your
saying
ways.
is we're scum.
Yeah, we're being ageist. Yeah.
Ageist little cunts.
Okay,
So,
thanks guys. Loving the pod. Been watching it since the first episode. Keep up the good work. That's from Sam Randalls. Anyway, let's move on.
Well, I don't know whether this is like a bit too heavy, because I just can't believe it's something that like an oldest. I used to work in retail and I was working in a clothes shop, and we had this like incentive to we'd get paid like a little bit of commission for setting up like a staff account. So if you made a sale, you set them up on an account, a credit account, you'd get 5% of the sale as like a little commission, and it's retail, you're earning fuck all, so it could be like decent, but the credit was terrible, and I hated them because I wasn't going to like encourage like people to get into debt. You know, if they're like, oh, you don't have to pay now, I can pay on credit.
All right.
There was this old guy in the shop, he was like 50, and he didn't know how to set up the accounts, but he's like worked in sales his whole life. He like lived it. He had a tape measure attached to his belt. Like he was that serious about it. He loved it. And he would like make these big sales and then just he just didn't know how to use the system, and you'd have to do all the effort, all the work to get him that fat commission. Yeah. But the reason I bring him up, the same guy, it's quite heavy. I don't know whether it'll make it to the pod, but he had a son with like an adult son with like non-verbal autism, like heavily autistic, and him and his wife were like lifelong carers for him, and they'd have like respite where he'd go away and stuff, and he was proper knackered. He just looked like shit one day, and I came in and I was like, "You all right, Mark? Everything okay?" I've just named him. That probably wasn't a good idea.
Mark Randalls.
I was like, "You all right, Mark? Everything okay?" And he just looked me in the eyes and he said, "If there's any chance that a vaccine can make your child like mine, it's not worth it." And I had that face, and then he said the next line that came out of him, he said, "Honestly, Liam, I'd rather he was gay." And I just had to Homer Simpson into the hedge away from that situation.
That's so fucking funny. That is so, because there's so much sympathy for that guy the whole way through that story. You're like, oh man, he's a hard worker. He's got his tape measure when he wants to make a sale. He shows people how long his dick is, and then he fucking cracks on with the sale. And we're like, he's a hard worker. He's been dealt a rough hand, and he was like, at least he's not one of them. Blufters, man.
That's so fucking funny.
That's
if
so
you don't write that
funny.
the fuck down,
That's so funny, man.
Well, just because I've never really spoke about it because the build-up's so heavy.
But that's great. That's the
because
most
you just
fun.
go and release all the tension.
I've got that joke in the show where I'm trying to say it without giving it away. You know the one where I spin round?
Yeah.
That's such a tense like build up, but it's always like the most fun.
Because you're releasing.
Yeah,
tension at
that's
the
so
end.
fun because it flips and then fuck that guy.
Yeah, it does, though, doesn't it? Yeah, fuck you, Mark.
That's so funny,
It's
man.
staying in the
That's
podcast.
fucking great. Keep it.
Fucking
Keep it. It's probably dead now, isn't it? If we didn't get the vaccine, do you know what I mean?
To be fair, he's probably buzzing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
fucking
That's
hell.
so funny. Oh, my God.
Should we do some features? Should we put Vittorio on the spot?
Yes, but genuinely, thanks to Sam for sending it in. If you can keep sending your stuff in submissions, and we really would appreciate it. For the most embarrassing moment, the worst thing you've ever done to anyone, or just stuff that you want to get off your chest,
And
like
Aaron
Sam
will
did.
read your full name. Every time.
Yeah, please put anonymous in the top.
Yeah.
We've actually been last week. We had one that was anonymous, and it took us fucking ages to think of a name for the person.
Yeah.
You to make why didn't
And then
you
they
just say
outed
anonymous?
themselves on the fucking teaser for the episode today.
Yeah.
That done my head in that.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, we don't want to give it away because we know it's a bit harsh and stuff. So we went to the effort. Like we had to cut the gap with how long it took us to think of a name because our mind just went blank. Went through the names. He was just and then just the person that we sent it in just replied to it and tagged the guy.
Yeah. We were so shit about it as well. Like the person who submitted it, like reached out to me and said, like today when the episode dropped, saying that someone who was talked about in the story messaged him and called him Sly, so they'd got onto it. Do you know what I mean? Who listened? So someone who was involved in the story
That's
also
funny.
listens.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You're fucking Sly, you lad."
Yeah.
Yeah. One of our features is, what's the slyest thing you've ever done to another person? And I kind of want to know if you've got one, because the people are quite hesitant to expose the scummy things they've done. But I feel like you'd embrace your scum.
I don't know if I'm a nice guy. I think like we all like to think that we're nice.
Yeah.
Don't we? I think. But I don't. I think.
Until someone points out and you're like, ah, fuck.
Oh yeah, when someone goes like, yeah, "You do this," and I'm like, "Oh god."
I honestly think I'm a scumbag who has been raised well and taught how to be nice, because often I'll do nice things because I know it's the right thing to do. I don't really.
It's not your inclination.
Yeah, it's not what I want to do, but
But
I know
I think
I
that's
should
everybody.
do it.
I think we're inherently very, very selfish, like cunts, like everybody. So when you do something, like it is all learned, and like, oh no, you actually can't do that because that's not nice to do that. To
Yeah.
people and fucking whatever. I remember the first but I'm so like nervous and anxious, and like I probably don't do many things bad by other people. Like I remember the first time I ever like stole anything, and it wasn't even stealing. Like it was, but fuck me, like it's so barely a story. I was on scout camp and we were in this fucking cottage, and they had a serrated spoon, and I was like, "That's so no, not a spork." So it's like
A spife.
the top of the spoon is like the edge of a butter knife would be.
How are you just putting spin-offs on these? Like, I've
Yeah,
heard of a
spike.
spark. What's a spike?
It's a spoony knife, isn't it? And I was like, "That's really cool." And I remember I took it home, and I was like, "Mom, look what I took from the thing." She was like, "Vittorio, you can't just take it." And I cried for like a day.
That's you bastard.
I was like, I can't believe I
I'm like
fucking
that.
stole
I
a
really
serrated
overthink
spoon.
shit.
from the-
You are a good person.
Apparently they're for boiled eggs. You know, when
Oh,
you
okay,
tap
you
the,
tap the old
and
shell.
the serration helps
Yeah.
something.
I didn't know. I've never seen like a bladed spoon. It sounds like some Irish shit. That.
What the fuck's
No,
that
it's
supposed to
whatever.
mean?
I'm allowed to. I've got very weakly Irish blood. I don't know how diluted I am.
You're going to hate seeing his show tonight. There's a line in it that basically says, you don't...
I can't say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If Logic's black, I'm Irish. That's what I'm saying.
Logic is I
Just seen the rapper Logic.
see. I didn't. So that
I thought
that
it was logic in
sentence-
general.
yeah. I thought you meant the concept of logic was black.
Logic's a rapper of black heritage who's very white skinned but looks like a white guy.
Yeah.
Raps the
He's
N-word.
Moroccan, isn't he?
It's okay. What?
He's Moroccan, isn't
Is he? Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Sean
No.
King.
No, he's not Moroccan. Meki Leaper is, and he's got a bit about logic. That's what I'm thinking of. There's a comic called Meki Leaper. He's got 10 minutes on YouTube, and it's fucking great. So good.
Sean King. He's that activist guy. He's pretty fucking white looking.
No, I've not seen him.
I'm like you, though. I'm like you in the sense that, like, if someone says, "Oh, you did this," I'll think about it for 4 weeks.
I freak out, man.
I really
I'm
to the point where I need to
I had to
figure
go
it
to
out.
therapy for ages, just because I had this obsession with being a good person and what it was to be a good person, and like, because it's just an unattainable standard. Because what is like a good person? Like we all fuck up, we all fuck people over, but I literally had to go through so much. Like, had to do this whole course with them on like values, figuring out what my values actually are.
I think that's church related, like being brought up in the church, like the whole.
The guilt thing.
The church has no values.
But when people talk about like that, the guilt and the Catholic guilt and the Irish guilt, it could be, but like I had to spend ages working through like, what do I actually care about, like, and what do I like? Because they gave you like a big list of all the, like, not all, it's not like exhaustive, but it's like all the values that people generally have. So it's like honesty, hard work, like humor, or like any of these, sincerity, any of these things. And you go through and you're like, or like adventure is one of them, where people like go and like, fucking, I'm like, I don't care about that. I know that's a thing that people do value in other people. And then just the acknowledgement of like, oh, like, just because other people care about like that's their values, it doesn't have to be my values.
So interesting.
It's fucking tough, man, but it really, really, really helped, because I think it's just assumed that like, you know what your values are, and people say that they're like, I know what's important to me, and like,
I think a lot of people struggle with the question, who am I, who they are.
that really
And
helps the
that'd be a great
values
way of
thing.
breaking it down, I think.
Yeah, because that's what I went into therapy with, like having just no like set like a terrible sense of self.
Was that pre-stand up?
No, that
really?
was like fucking last year.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. I just like, I really wanted to find out, and that's that's stand up for me.
Yeah.
Should be an exploration of self.
Yeah.
And it's the best way to like interrogate like who you are. And next year's show that I'm going to do is all about your perception of yourself versus what other people's perception of you is.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny when you do something and somebody goes, "Oh, that's so you," and you go, "Oh, what?"
That's so interesting. You're already planning your next show.
I kicked a squirrel. That's
I'm
so
a freak,
you.
Okay, yeah.
Like I've got the whole concept of like I've probably got 10 minutes of the next show working a bit.
Yeah, because Beth suggested that that I go to therapy.
Always a good sign.
Yeah. And relationship counselling. And there's
Hell, she told me to go to hell.
and Gaslights Anonymous. No, she just suggested it. But the thing that puts me off is just the waiting list. But I do think it's something that I need to explore, because like I'll take things so to heart. Do you know what I mean? Like we've had it loads with this, where like Liam will point something out and I'll think about it. Like a guest was on this and they said something to me afterwards, and I last thought about that this morning in the shower.
Yeah.
And that was 10 episodes ago, something like that, 10 records ago. So
Trying
like
to
10,
find
12
a bit
weeks.
of resilience in it.
something like
It's
that.
tough,
and
man.
I need to, because the person that said it hasn't thought about it since. Do you know what I mean?
That's
I know
often
they
the way.
haven't, and they don't care. But in my head, it's still a thing. Do you know what I mean? And I felt so terrible about it, and it's actually nothing. And I'll tell you what it is later. But it's like
It's literally like, I have flashes of that, but I just fucking, and I don't know if this is the healthy thing to do. I just ignore it. I like just tell myself that I am overthinking it. It doesn't stop it creeping up and getting me in like moments.
I think it does for everybody, especially for stand-ups, because our job is to go out and like be like accepted by rooms of people. You have to be like
We're basically saying, like me.
yeah, validate me,
Validate
like
me.
it's okay. Like we have to walk in and be like just placate everybody and be like, it's all right. Like I'm safe because they're all laughing.
Yeah.
So it's so tied up in what everyone else thinks of you. But I think like as stand-ups, it is really fucking hard. And you don't want to be one of those guys on stage. It's like, oh, the fucking audience were shit or whatever. And you always want to like do a good job and be a professional and work hard and shit. But it's like, you can't tie too much of it up with what other people think of you. And that's in the show as well. That whole thing of like, it's just not. I also think something like arrogance is just anxiety. Anxiety is just arrogance in disguise. So the fact that you think anyone's fucking thinking about you is like so narcissistic of like, they don't give a fuck, man.
yeah.
Why are you assuming that they all fucking think these things about you? Just
So
chill.
true.
It's all right. Like,
Definitely hit the nail.
See,
on
now
the
you've
head.
called me arrogant. I'm going to think about that for months.
It can be a strength though, can't it? Like that sort of type of thinking helps you reflect and work on your stuff. It can be a strength. In
yeah,
stand-up,
for sure.
I think.
You have to be self-aware.
Yeah, it's just trying to like fucking Fight the
It's a
demons.
real balance. It's tough, and sometimes you need that introspection, and sometimes you don't want to be too fucking hard-headed about it and just like be a bit like bull in a china shop, like fuck what everybody else thinks, I'm doing my thing. Then you're just a fucking cunt, like.
Yeah.
But it's just that finding that sweet spot of like, and it's not a constant thing. It's not something you reach and then like, cool, I'm done. It's like you'll fuck it up in either direction over the course, and you just adjust, and then you die. And
Yeah.
Blake Price.
I enjoyed that. It was very insightful. And it was like a different change of tone, but I've never spoke to someone who's done something like that, and I think it'll help people reach out for something like that, because a lot of things when it comes to like therapy or asking for help, people don't know what to expect and don't want to wait around for it and don't know.
it's great.
Like,
Yeah, it's really fucking good. I've been in therapy since I was 9.
oh really? Yeah.
I'm so fucked. I'm so fucked up, man.
He's going to have a Netflix special, but not the one you think he will.
Really fucking bad stuff, man.
Oh, fucking hell. This has been fucking great, man. Are we about there? Should we wrap it up?
I think we can wrap it up.
Have you got anything you want to get off your chest?
Yes.
Thing?
So my auntie died. This isn't what I want to get off. At the funeral, this fucking singer, like,
You had a singer at a funeral?
yeah, like doing like the hymns.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking like fucking.
No, like doing the hymns.
This
people
one's
and
for
shit.
Granny!
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
But she was, she was performing the songs like she was on the fucking West End. I literally wanted to grab her and like smash her head off the altar and be like, fuck you. And she had this fucking face on her where she was like, and he will raise you up on the eagles. And do you know like that half singing thing they do in musicals where she was like, make you to shine like the sun. I was like, what do you think this event is? Do you know what I mean? That's my auntie over there, dead, right? And you're there, like, trying to get booked for High School Musical or whatever. Fuck off. Apparently she does, like, all the funerals in West Belfast, but I fucking hate her.
Headlines the funerals.
And it's not something you can complain about either. This is perfect for this podcast, because I couldn't go back to, like, the fucking house afterwards with, like, all the grieving people and be like, she was fucking shit, wasn't she?
Make the whole funeral about
She's a
you.
fucking cunt. Yeah, that was just winding me up. The other week, I was like, fucking.
Thought she treated that shit. So her mindset before that funeral is like the mindset you going into your show tonight. She's a performer and she's like gearing herself up. It was all about the performance to her. But yeah, it's not about you in that scenario.
Literally sing. And she would like pull the tempos around, and like a lot of hymns people like sing along with, but you just couldn't, because she was just like doing all this fucking like slowing down and like run. You like,
Was she solo or
you know,
part
like,
of a choir?
solo, and like, do you know when like an R&B singer does the national anthem in America?
Yeah.
You're like, just sing the fucking thing, you weirdo.
Like,
Yeah,
the
doing all
wobbles.
that shit. I was like, who the fuck are you?
She treated your auntie's funeral like an audience with Adele. Check where that was
Who
like.
are you auditioning for? Are you submitting this to the fucking BBC New Singer Awards or some shit? Pick a better gig.
Name and shame her, lad. Name and shame
I don't
her.
know her fucking name, and nobody else does, because she's a fucking hack.
You know.
That's great. That's not great.
It's not great,
tragic.
no.
I
Rip.
thought it was family,
I
sorry.
was just furious, man. I was like, oh no, you're. Because I'm like upset, obviously, like the funeral, but then just like seething.
Filled with rage.
To make it about you, though. That's
I
what
was
it
just
is,
like,
isn't it?
you, how dare you?
Make it about you.
What if she only had one gear, though? You know what I mean?
Then get a different gig.
Sometimes you see a comic and they go up and they just like, it's not the right gig for their shtick, but
But apparently she does like all the funerals. That's like her regular gig.
Some people maybe.
She's fucking. She must have cashed in during COVID.
well, you've only had like 10 people, so I doubt if she was even doing it. All the funerals were low key, weren't they?
Yeah, man. She does bigger venues. And
Yeah.
man, I
Oh,
was
fuck it
furious.
up. My word.
Don't
Yeah.
blame you.
Fuck her.
Maybe she fucking welcomes like the. So maybe some people want that distraction. They want to be taken out of the moment and they want to get.
How
lost
far
in
do
their
you
voice.
take that?
Is she justifying it in her head? She's doing a public service.
Yeah, I think like, how far do you take that though? Because it's like once you start dancing at a funeral, it's not good.
Yeah,
that's true. She start pirouetting on the coffin.
The pin's on fire that she was juggling for a month.
She's got a Britney mic and all.
Yeah.
She's got a fucking fan that's blowing the dress behind her. This has been fucking great, man. Have you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, come to shows, listen to Vittorio's podcast. It doesn't have a brand. It's my podcast, so it's called Vittorio's podcast. If you're in Edinburgh, come to the Fringe. That's the fucking focus. August, 2:05, Monkey Bar Comedy website. That's it.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I seen his show yesterday, and not that my opinion means that much to you, but it was fucking great.
Thank you very much.
There's a lot of comics far more experienced than you that'd be really proud of that show.
So nice.
Get it out.
Isn't it mad how we've like...
Stop being so fucking gay, man.
I was just about to say, we started with you trying to suck him off, and now here I am. Just
You
like,
trying to suck him off? Yeah, fucking.
give us 3 things you hate.
The blacks.
The dogs, the Irish.
You took the shades off for that. Cancel him. Cancel him.
Wait. Put them on.
3 things I hate.
3 things you hate.
Women. That singer woman. And English people. Good night.